These are the last 4 problems on the study guide for Test 2, Quarter 2. And again, these are very similar to what you're going to end up seeing on that test on Friday. So here's the first system that we're going to end up solving, actually the second one for substitution. And this is a great one for using substitution because we have y, or in this case x, by itself. Whenever you have a variable by itself, substitution is the method you'd want to use. So x equals y minus 4. Let's put this value right in place of this x right here. So let's rewrite this equation, but in place of x, we're going to write y minus 4. So it's 3 times x, so 3 times y minus 4. Minus 2y equals negative 7. So you go ahead and do some work there. Distribute this 3 over that subtraction and see what we get. So here we have 3y and then a minus 12 minus 2y equals negative 7. So we go ahead and do some work there. We're doing opposite operations and also collecting like terms. So here I have a plus 12, and I go ahead and do that work. Now I've got a 3y minus 2. Well, let's go ahead and collect those two, I guess, since they're just together on one side of the equal sign, and it just leaves us with y. Y equals 5 when I collect these, because negative 7 plus 12 makes 5. Well, from there, all we have to do is substitute again. Put that 5 in for y. Probably the top equation is the easiest one. If you put in for this y down in the second equation, you'd have a whole lot more work to do. So if we put it into the first equation, we'd have 5 minus 4 equals x. So that means 1 equals x. So we've got our two numbers there. 1 is x, 5 is y. You write the answer as an ordered pair. Well, on this next problem, number 7, we're going to end up having to verify a point is on a line. So that was 6, this is 7. And the point is negative 2, 8. So all you're going to do, if you're verifying the points on the line, you're just going to substitute negative 2 in for x, 8 in for y. And that's all you do. Just put those numbers in place of those variables. And if it equals negative 13, you say yes. If it doesn't, you say no. So let's see if it does. So we write down 5 halves x. Now x is negative 2, so I'm going to write that as negative 2 over 1. And then minus 2 times by 8. And this should all equal negative 13 at the end. Well, we go ahead and do some work there. We have 2 into the negative 2 goes negative 1 time. So we multiply, we got negative 5. And then here we have a negative and a positive, so that makes a negative 16. And we see if it equals negative 13 or not. Well, unfortunately, these two numbers add together to make something that's not negative 13. So it's a no. That point is not on the line that we have there. Well, second to last problem, write an equation. Again, as I pointed out before, whenever it says write an equation in slope-intercept form, that means we're dealing with a straight line. So this time we have the form, so that's why I know it's a straight line. We're going to use this formula. It's that y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We always use that formula to write the equation of the line. So all we need for this formula is a point, which we have. This is our y value, our x value, and this is our y value. And the negative 9 is going to go in place of x1. The 2 is going to go in place of y1. Well, we also need a slope, and we're given that slope here. It says a slope of negative 2/3. So that number goes right in place of m right there. And so let's go ahead and rewrite what we've got. Y minus 2 equals the slope, which is negative 2/3, times by x minus negative 9. So we go ahead and add the opposite inside those parentheses. And then also distribute. Let's see what we've got. So we still have this y minus 2, and it equals negative 2/3 x. But then off to the side, let's do that negative 2/3 times by 9 over 1. 3 goes into 9 3 times. We multiply across, we get negative 6. So just one more part here, and that is to isolate the y a little further. We're going to add 2 to both sides. And when we do that, we get our answer. Y equals negative 2/3 x. And here we have opposite signs, so we have to subtract, and it's a minus 4. And there it is. Well, the last problem is similar to this one, except we've got a problem here. We're supposed to write an equation. We're writing an equation in slope-intercept form, so we know the formula we're using. It's that point-slope formula. But we need the slope. You see, they just give us a bunch of points. These are a linear relation in the chart form where we can write those ordered pairs. This one is negative 4 comma negative 2. That's one ordered pair. We've got 8 comma 1. That's another one. Again, 8 was x, 1 was y. And we got negative 8, negative 3. That's another. Well, we don't need all of these points. So I'm going to just cross off one of them, and we're just going to use 2. And we need to find the slope in order to use our point-slope formula. So we need to figure out what that is, and that's the one when we use this. We go m equals, and then we have y minus y1 over x minus x1. And so we take the point, and here we'll take 8, 1, and negative 4, negative 2. So the y's go on top. So negative 2 minus 1. Those are the y values. Y is on top. And then we start with the negative 4. So negative 4 minus 8. And we do that work. Remember, add the opposite. And so when I do that, I end up having the same sign. So I'm going to end up adding these numbers, and the answer is going to be both negative. Negative 3 over negative 12. Reduce the fraction. Common mistake is people will say 4. It's not 4 because we've got a bigger number on the bottom. We've got to reduce. We've got to divide this by negative 3. Divide this by negative 3. So we end up with 1/4. So that's the mistake people are going to make is either just writing the answer as 4, or they put x's on top, y's on the bottom, and they'll get 4 as well that way. But that's not the answer. M equals 1/4. So that's our slope. Now we take a point. I'm going to use this middle point, 8 comma 1. And I'm going to put it into that point-slope formula. So we always use this point-slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And we substitute. So we've got y minus 1. That was my y value I'm using. And then equals the slope, which is 1/4, times x minus 8. So I'm using the x value of 8. So I distribute, and when I do that, I'll rewrite it up here. We've got y minus 1 equals 1/4 x, and then 1/4 of 8 is 2. So I'm getting that because, again, I'll show it over here. 1/4 times 8 over 1. The 4 goes into 8 2 times. 2 times 1 makes 2. Well, just one more step, and we've got our answer. And then we'll have done number 9. And all you have to do here is add the 1. So when we add 1 to both sides, we have opposite signs here, so we have to subtract. And we end up with 1/4 x, y equals 1/4 x, minus 1. And there is our answer. So that's the answer for number 9 on the test. Number 8 was back over here. 8, you didn't have to find the slope. It was given to us. But number 9, you had to find the slope. So remember, write an equation in slope-intercept form or write a linear equation. You got to use the point-slope formula. And in order to use that formula, you need the slope, you need a point. Well, those are the problems you have this week. Good luck on that test.